First, let me discuss a little bit about what is Integrated ALM. So Integrated ALM, or Application Lifecycle Management, is a totally integrated set of tools and processes that help organizations manage the complete lifecycle of application development. So it is a set of tools and also a set of processes that are used to manage application development or the entire application lifecycle, starting from the idea to getting it verified, defining the business requirements, the business case basically, then developing it further, doing the design, development, QA, and then deploy it into production, and also the maintenance cycle that follows that. So I'll talk about what ALM covers in the next part of the slide, but the integrated ALM also integrates the different teams, activities, platforms, tools, and processes. So these teams may be geographically distributed, as is the common scenario today. And ALM as such, it is a little bit different from what we commonly refer to as SDLC. I'll be explaining that here. So as I said, it spans from the idea to the end of the application's life. And within this application's life, the SDLC, or actual development of the software, that cycle can repeat. So if we look at this diagram over here, the idea starts over here, and this is the initial stage where we are defining the requirements and doing all that. So the SDLC, this green part, is an SDLC cycle which is used to actually develop the product, or basically the work products that are going to be delivered. And then it goes into deployment, which starts the operation part of it. So it goes into operations from here, and during the lifetime of the product or application, this SDLC might be repeated. You may need to upgrade the software, or you may need to enhance it and keep it up to the times. So these cycles continue as long as the application is in use or is in operation. And finally, every application or product has a life, and there will be a stage where it will become obsolete and the pain point will basically no longer exist. So the product or the application will be discontinued, or it can also happen that a newer, better product comes in and replaces this. So that is the end of life of the project or of the application. So ALM consists of this entire cycle, and not only the SDLC parts. Multiple SDLC cycles can be repeated within the life of an application. The next point is, how can we implement integrated ALM? So there are three approaches available in the market today. The first one is point-to-point integrations. So point-to-point integrations are specific pieces of code that are written to integrate different applications or tools that are used in the ALM. The advantage here is that we can use best-of-breed multi-vendor tools, so there is no vendor lock-in over here. You can use tools from the leading vendors and connect them together. And also another advantage is that the integration code can be handcrafted so that it caters to your exact use case. But the problem is that if you are using more than 2 or 3 tools, which is actually the most common scenario, that people are using 5 tools, 10 tools. So the point-to-point integrations cannot scale out to support that. It becomes very complex to maintain, and each piece of code has to be maintained and monitored. The tools may change, their versions change, their APIs change. So to keep up with those changes, you need to work on multiple pieces of code. So for example, if we have 10 tools in the scenario and one tool changes its version or API, then you need to work on 9 pieces of code which are connecting this tool to the 9 other tools. So it is not a scalable model. It cannot be used for more than 2 or 3 tools. The next option is single vendor all-in-one solutions. So single vendor solutions are like one particular vendor is providing all the tools for all the different silos of software development, and these tools are often connected with each other. So there's a integration already available off the shelf, but problem here is that the tools have to be from the same vendor. So you are basically locked in with the vendor, and this is a dynamic environment. So today the tool that you're using may be replaced tomorrow by a better tool. Your process methodology may change. That may require more tools to come in or different tools to replace the existing ones. And over there, if you're locked in with a particular vendor, then that becomes a serious limitation when you're choosing the tools. Then another problem here is that each integration is based on vendor's guideline of uses. So you cannot exactly suit it to your use case. The simple use cases will of course be supported, but if it is a complicated use case, integration use case, that will not be supported off the shelf, and it is difficult to customize these pre-coded integrations to suit your exact needs. And here the vendor does all the integration, and you won't be able to use the best of breed tools. You have to use all the tools from the same vendor, and all the tools may not be the best tools of those areas, and you have less control over the integration rules. The third option is ALM integration middleware. So this is basically a dedicated piece of software that is doing only the integration part. So it's connecting multi-vendor best of breed tools, and you have to have the adapters to connect each of the tools to the middleware. The customer can themselves create their own adapters because most of these middlewares, they have open APIs available, and the integration rules, they are not coded into the components of the middleware, but they are left open for the end users or the customers, basically the administrators, to configure them. So this is by far the most flexible solution and is the best fit when you are using multi-vendor tools. Next, what are the benefits of integrated ALM?